Yeah.
Just had lost our home, so we moved on to live in Section 8 housing. Nothing was ever given. Had to work hard to overcome all my struggles.
This is JP Banks.
Francisco Drive in South San Francisco, California. That's the house I grew up in. I grew up in a house filled with 20 plus kids, not to mention all the adults that lived in there as well. I remember those cold nights of sleeping on the floor. I remember not having pillows and blankets. I remember I used to take the cushions off of the couch just to make a bed. Used to live off of bread, butter, eggs, rice, whatever it is that we had in the fridge. Sometimes we used to make mayonnaise sandwiches. Felt like a gourmet meal to me. But our parents always made sure we were fed. They did whatever it takes to make sure that we got something in our stomach. I used to wear the hand-me-down clothes from my older siblings. The funny thing was I used to hoop in my sister's Jordans. Man, those days where we didn't have water, those were the toughest. You used to see us all battling just to get in that shower. Because if you're able to get in that shower first, that water was going to be warm. It was days like this that I remembered the most. It was days like this where I wanted to change the most. But I thought it was normal. I thought everybody lived this way. To me, this was something that I felt was real. I never knew how to feel because I thought everybody was going through this. But honest truth, one thing I would say is I thought I was rich. My older siblings and my parents made sure that we didn't have nothing. But at the same time, I felt like we had everything. They made me feel rich, not in money, but in love. I used to wake up early mornings at 5 a.m. My brother used to wake me up. My brother at the time had a construction job. So when he was getting up for work, he was waking me up too. He would always ask me, how bad do you want it? Is this something that you believe in? At the time, I was afraid. I didn't know what it was that I wanted. So I started to just hoop. He used to tell me every morning when I wake up to go make something of my life. Basketball is something that I love, so I felt like that was the only thing I could do. So when he would leave to work, I was leaving to the court. I remember how cold it used to feel in the morning. This is what honestly fuels me to help others the most. All I wanted to do was make a difference. All I wanted to do was inspire. All I wanted to do was motivate. This was my dream. I thought basketball was going to be something forever. I thought basketball was going to be my meal ticket out. Sometimes things just don't pan out that way. I can't thank my sisters enough. They raised me a lot. They taught me a lot. They took me in as if I was their own kids. I'm thankful for my nieces and my nephews. That's who I really grew up with. They were the ones that were there to keep me warm when I needed warmth. The hardest part growing up, though, was when we lost our home. I was lost, honestly. I lost the house that I grew up in. The many memories that I shared there, it broke me. It just sucked to see how quick things can change. I remember I was looking up to the sky and asking God, why us? The struggle that we faced, man, this was something that I wished that nobody else would feel. Now I was faced with, what am I gonna do? Imagine 20 plus kids now have no home. What were we gonna do? Where were we gonna stay? I remember hugging my sister. I remember hugging my nieces and my nephews. I remember the tears that we shed when we lost this house. But I also remember all the fun memories that we had. From there, I thought things were gonna eventually go up. Thankfully, we were able to get a home out in the city. So we moved out to San Francisco. And I didn't know where we were staying at the time. But then I finally found out. what poverty really was, what violence really was. We moved into Section 8 homes over on Oakdale. I learned a lot from this area, but also I learned on how fast life is in the city. I witnessed shootings every night. I remember guys being chased by the police right in my backyard. Seeing this and witnessing it, it only took me for a turn. I felt like things started to go downhill. I thought it was cool to do all the drugs, the drinking, and I honestly lost my way. I knew deep down inside I wasn't myself. I was getting caught up and lost in the fast life of the city. I fell into a lot of bad habits, honestly. I was placing myself around people that probably weren't meant to be around me. From there, we ended up moving a few blocks up the street on Bertha. Man, and that wasn't no different either. Same thing, just in a different part of the city. Section 8 homes, car break-ins, robberies, drugs. I ended up getting a job to work at Walgreens. I worked at a Walgreens on 3rd and Evans and 3rd and Williams. Basically the heart of Hunters Point on 3rd Street. There would be times I would catch kids stealing. Man, and one time there was this one kid that I caught stealing, and I just asked him, I said, why are you stealing? I wanted to know personally. He told me that he didn't have nothing to eat. He was accustomed to this. And me being myself, I became accustomed to a lot of this stuff as well. So I ended up buying this kid his candy, and I told him whenever he needed something to let me know. I don't have all the money in the world, but I know I can make a difference in this kid. Crazy thing is, a couple weeks later, his older brother came down and said thank you. Came and told me that he's been trying to change his life as well. And he said thank you for looking out for his brother. Sad thing was, a few months pass and the older brother dies. He passed away in a drive-by shooting. I felt like this could have been me. I felt like this could have been my older brother. From there on out, I just knew I needed to change. It was hard working in a community that lacks role models. I honestly just couldn't keep doing the typical jobs. I wanted to find something that I could make a difference on myself. My girlfriend's nephew reached out to me and he asked me if I could train him. I looked at him crazy though, and I was like, man, I never trained in my life, man. I have no idea what to do. But you know what? I was willing to do whatever it took just to help. So that whole night I looked up videos and I used to do stuff that I used to work on. Honest truth, I was nervous because I haven't touched a basketball for years. We would train for about 2 to 3 weeks, probably a month straight, 4 to 5 days a week. I told him to invite his teammates. From training one kid, it honestly grew to 3 kids. So now I had DJ, who was my girlfriend's nephew, and DJ brought David, who was his high school teammate.
Hey, yo, D. Hey, try to work out? Where at? Lincoln. 7:30? Yeah, that's cool. Alright, for sure. Alright, I'll see you later.
And then David brought Othman, who was his cousin. So now I got 3 kids who loved my work and believed in me. Things actually started to go well. I started to enjoy it more and more, and I couldn't help but to keep looking up videos and keep learning new drills. But as everything goes good, somehow, some way, there is something that always goes down. I ended up losing my mom, probably one of the toughest moments of my life. I witnessed her taking her last breath with my siblings. I remember holding her hand. The feeling of her hand though, as it went from warm to cold, it just showed me a lot. It showed me a lot on how quick life can be and to enjoy it while you can. My mom just wanted me to be happy. She didn't care what I was doing. She just wanted me to be happy and safe. It just brought me back to my childhood again, man. Feeling the cold. And as soon as I felt that cold, I knew it was time for a change. You know, my mom always preached to me. She wanted me to get my life together. She wanted me to have fun, yet figure it out on what I wanted to do. I miss her a lot. Every day she passes my mind. With that being said, I decided to continue training. I ended up meeting a great group of kids. Started to train JC. I started to train Drew, Brandon and Brian, Justin. From there, we were just building. Our family started to grow. I remember sneaking into the 24s and the other gyms around the city just to get a workout in. Trying to find a gym that'll be able to let us in just to shoot, just to train, just to get better. But I understand how hard it is now. I later received a job to work at the Boys and Girls Club in South City. This was the same Boys and Girls Club I grew up in. I loved it there. I loved the kids. I loved the environment. But I just knew this wasn't something that I wanted to do. I honestly didn't like being able to wake up for a job that I was going off of their time. I wanted to do something that I loved for myself. So 3 months later, I decided to leave that job. I just knew it wasn't for me. I wanted to make a difference and I wanted to be happy doing what I love to do. So I sent a group chat out to the guys I trained and I asked if I should quit my job and just try to do this training full time. They all said yeah and that they support me no matter what. Hardest thing was, and this was something I didn't even tell them, I really didn't have no clientele. And I had no way of making any income. I had a car bill, insurance, phone bill, medical, and dental, let alone food and giving money to my parents. This was something I had to figure out quick. I would train 10 to 14 hours a day and not make anything. I would have about 7 to 8 sessions a day. So the question is, I had everybody. If a dream is willing to be taken, if you're able to chase your dream right now, would you be willing to do this? Would you be willing to take 10 to 14 hours of your day to do what you love to do, but make no money off of it? I did this for months on straight. But my faith was heavy in God. Now my business began to grow. Mind you, I'm still training non-stop, barely making anything. But this was the only income I had, so I had to really grind. I had to really get out there. Now that I had all these kids that I was training, I knew I had to make it a purpose in life, because their smiles honestly made me want to get better. I seen them getting better, so it pushed me more, it motivated me more. This is something I honestly never thought would happen. And I can't thank people enough. The parents, coaches, everyone that I've crossed paths with, I can't thank them enough for believing in my dream. My parents, my family, forever grateful for that. For my girl sticking by my side. Man, I know it was tough for her. My support system, man, without you guys, man, this would be nothing. Forever grateful. Thank you to everybody for the continuous love and support. I appreciate you guys so much. Without you guys, none of this would be possible.
Yeah.